Hi guys, welcome back. I have been having so much fun getting back into doing videos and want to thank you guys for your comments that you left on the last video. So many people that are going through similar things and have shared that, so thank you guys as always. And you don't even know how much these videos mean to me. Getting back into them has been such a positive, uplifting thing for my life. If you like weight loss experience related videos, dating topic videos, if you want to hear my dating stories, give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe below if you haven't done so already. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed so far. Come follow me if you haven't already on Instagram. It's gingerlifegoals and Snapchat red42897. I've been thinking about doing this video for a while because I know when I was going through this stuff like a year or two after my surgery, I really wanted to have perspective on this issue, so I thought I would share my experiences with you. My brief backstory is that I've actually this year have been divorced for 7 years, and as you know, I have Lily and Dylan, my 2 kids, and so I have dated since my divorce, and I have had a couple of relationships. I've really embraced the single thing at times. I really didn't date a lot before I got married. I dated one guy in high school and he was kind of a creep. It was cute. He was the new guy. I always had a crush on the new guy. Maybe all the girls did. It's like a new person and you know, find them attractive. But anyway, I dated him for like a hot second. I still remember his name. I'm not even gonna say it because if someone remembers this kid, it's like kind of embarrassing. I dated him for like maybe 3 weeks or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. So it was nothing. I didn't really date after high school either. I fell in love with my husband and kind of like was on and off with him for a while. He wasn't my husband at the time, obviously. We got married and that's a whole other story. He didn't really court me or date me either. It was kind of more like we hung out at his house a lot. We would go grab food and make it at home. We would watch a lot of movies. So I had never been really properly courted or taken out. The whole dating thing was a foreign concept to me, and when I started dating, it was after my surgery. I think I wanted to date before my surgery, but I don't think that my mind was in the right place. I don't think I had enough confidence. I didn't have a good headspace. I had gotten significantly overweight, and I was overweight most of my adult life, as you have heard in previous videos. I had a whole complex probably since the boy in 6th grade told me that I was a fat pig. I honestly think I really internalized that so much that I felt like every boy thought that. I thought I was not attractive to anyone, and that was at any size. I was in high school not a really big girl. I just maybe was a little bit bigger than my friends, and I could have sworn that every guy just thought I was huge. And my point is that I didn't have practice with the whole dating thing. So when I went into it, which was a year or so after my surgery, I was down right around probably 195 pounds or so. It doesn't really matter, but it was heavier than I am now. I know that a lot of you guys have confidence anyway. You may be overweight now. You may be thin as heck. You may be a size 2. I'm sure there's all different sizes and shapes watching this video, and I'm sure they all have different confidence levels. So not everyone who's overweight has like this big thing about it. I always just felt unattractive. I mean, I'm just gonna lay it out there. I'm not saying that it was a healthy notion, but I didn't really have anyone counteracting that in my life, telling me that that was not the case. I wasn't telling myself that it's not the case, and I didn't seek out the therapy maybe that I probably should have. I did not have the confidence until I lost weight to actually kind of put myself out there and date. I think I wanted to, it just didn't happen. I wasn't confident enough to. I started dating in probably 2013. I remember my first date. I had gotten on some dating apps and maybe like a website. I don't remember which one it was. Okay, maybe I do. It might have been Plenty of Fish. You didn't hear me say that. So I was on there and I went out with a guy, and it was my first date, and I was like terrified. I think I had a couple of glasses of wine prior to the date because I was just so freaked out. We had a good conversation, and then I ended up realizing that actually with the help of friends, because I was so naive at the time, I had a hunch that he was just kind of looking for someone to like hook up with or something, and that's just not my style at all. He was telling me like how broke he was and he didn't have a lot of money, but that, you know, he felt like I friend zoned him. And then I remember talking to my cousin and I was saying like, yeah, he says it doesn't have a lot of money, but maybe like we could go for walks or something like that. She said to me like, Emily, he doesn't have enough money for a cup of coffee, to take you out for a cup of coffee. And then I kind of like realized like what we were dealing with. It was more like he was just looking for somebody to like mess around with or hook up with. That was my first date experience. And then from then on, I did date a couple guys. I remember one guy I was with, I met him probably on the same dating app or something, and we went out and he wanted, like at first he suggested like water skiing or jet skiing for our first date, and I was like, this guy is out of his mind to think I want to get in a bathing suit on my first date with him. And then he wanted to take me golfing. And then when the time came, it was like going to be 100 degrees that day. So we ended up going bowling. The air conditioning in the bowling alley was broken. So it was like so stifling hot in there. And then I think we went over to Applebee's for a drink after. And he said to me, so what do you think? What do you think of me? Like, what do you think of this? I was like, oh, I think you're handsome and you seem like a great guy and like the conversation's going well and stuff. I would never think to ask this, but since he asked, I was like, so what do you think of me? Like, what do you think? He's like, you're cute. And dead silence. I felt so kind of insulted and like, what a jackass, like So those were my first couple of dating experiences. The differences before and after, I can't, like before weight loss and after weight loss, I could only say like my confidence was definitely boosted. Do you tell people that you've had weight loss surgery? My answer to that is I used to not tell like really anyone. My boyfriend that I had a few years ago, I don't think I ever ended up telling him. We didn't date very long, so I don't know if I ended up telling him or not. I think I was still feeling kind of vulnerable about it at the time. I was in another relationship and I did end up telling him about it, and it was fine. That was a good starting place for me to have shared that with somebody and they didn't like freak out about it. Don't ask me why I thought that they would. I just didn't know how it would come across. That helped me to be able to kind of move forward and tell people if the subject arose. That's kind of what I would say is like if the subject arises, I think it's very healthy and fine to tell somebody about it. I don't think it's something that we have to confess like immediately. I'm not looking to be in a relationship with just anyone, so I don't really feel the need to share my whole life story with every person that I go on a date with. So that's just up to you. You know, that's our own personal decision that you want to make on how much you trust somebody, how much vulnerability you want to have with somebody. And sharing leads to deeper relationships. It's just who you think that you're gonna go on and have a deeper relationship with. There are so many variables in my dating experience. I'm in my 30s. I have 2 children, so I'm dating as a single parent. I've been divorced, and those are all factors. The weight loss thing is probably in the back of that, the lower priority of as far as something that really makes a huge difference in my dating. At this point, I have found, along with the weight loss, I put more effort into my appearance and what I do to take care of myself, my beauty routine. I think just along with loving myself more because I felt myself getting healthier, I put more into all those things. Looking back, would I have liked to have done that when I was heavy? Yeah, I think that would have made my confidence level go up a little bit, just putting more effort into myself, but I didn't have enough self-esteem to do that at the time. There's a whole thing as far as there's weight loss and there's also putting more time and effort into yourself as a person and as far as what you like for fashion and beauty. So far, I haven't had really any negative responses with the people that I have shared having surgery with. I had one guy that I talked to on a dating app that, like, after I told him, he immediately deleted me, and I was like, bye. Like, I don't need that in my life. If there's someone that does have an issue with the fact that you've had surgery that used to be heavy, they're not probably meant for you anyway, and you can tell them to get lost, because if they're not liking what you are in your backstory, your story is part of who you are. So if they're not liking that from the get-go, then you're gonna have issues later on down the road. Before my surgery, if I felt rejected by a guy, I could blame it on my weight. If I had rejection issues, I felt like it was my weight. I think a lot of that, again, had to do with the kid's dad, and he, did express to me that he didn't find me attractive at different points throughout our relationship, and that definitely was damaging. I've learned and grown a lot from that experience in that relationship. It wasn't healthy. I'm miles and miles and miles away from where I was when I got out of that relationship. So now, not being that obese person, if I get rejected, I don't have that to blame it on. There's been times that I have had guys walk away or not be interested or say that they're interested and want to go out again and then haven't. I mean, of course, I've done that to people before also, that I did not have an interest in continuing to date, but like being interested in someone and then having them do it, you know, that's happened sometimes. I don't have my weight to blame it on anymore. And so then what do? You know, I'm realizing, and through therapy, she has really taught me that it's not about me. It's not about something that I did. If we just had a great conversation and it just didn't go, it didn't mesh, and we didn't end up dating or whatever it is, it's not something I have to blame on myself. It's something with them, or what they're looking for isn't me. It doesn't mean that, you know, there's anything I need to change about myself. If I'm a kind-hearted person and smart and driven, which I know that I am, then I'm going to be for somebody. But so that's just been a mind trip to realize that I don't always have to blame myself for something not working out. So why date? For one thing, I feel like I needed to see what that was like and realize that there's all different kinds of guys, and I dated business guys, I've dated really career focused guys, I've dated guys with a lot of money. I could care less, to be honest with you. But it has helped me to realize that I am a catch. I like that about myself. I've had to date to kind of see what I like and see what my preferences are and what I am looking for and what I'm not looking for. I come from a small town, and I think there was definitely a mentality, at least on my part, that I had to kind of take what I got. I had to take what was in front of me. If I have, you know, this many guys to choose from, one of those has to work. I have to make one of those work. Well, that's not really the truth. You don't have to make anything work. If it doesn't work for you, if they're not your person, then you don't. You will move on and figure out yourself and love yourself. I am who I am. I love my life, and as long as I'm trying to help people and fulfill things that drive me forward and be a good mom to my kids, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm happy. Of course, I go through times where I go through ups and downs where I feel like, oh gosh, it would be really nice to be in a relationship, mostly because I love to be around people, and I would love to have someone to do things with, to drive up north with, to, go to my favorite restaurants with, which, I have friends that I do that with, and sometimes I feel like it would be nice to have a romantic relationship to do that. If you come from a place of thinking that you want to make something work and you don't want to be single anymore, you want a boyfriend so badly, you're going to end up in bad relationships. And I've done that. I've ignored red flags before and moved forward with things that, looking back, I should have seen red flag on day 1 and day 2 and day 3, but didn't, just kind of ignored that. I learned from those experiences and want to take those experiences with future and say, okay, you have a red flag here, bye. Or, okay, here's a red flag and here's a red flag. It's not working for me. Like, be able to move on from that and pull myself away from that, as opposed to getting sucked into something that wasn't ever meant to be. I have come right now, I'm totally not doing dating apps. I am just over that whole thing, but I think that they're fine and great, that they can be very helpful for meeting new people, and it can be a really good place to start if you haven't dated a lot, and easy. But I kind of have come to a place where I don't know if I want it to be easy on somebody, a guy. I want a guy to put in more effort than a dating app takes. I'm not saying that great guys can't come from there, because they absolutely can. I've met some great guys on dating apps. I will say this, I did think that losing weight would be really helpful as far as dating and as far as, finding the right relationship and the right person that I want to be with. I'm not looking at every person I go out with that way, because it's just, most of the guys that I go out with aren't going to be for me. And that's how it should be. Everyone isn't going to be for you. There's only going to be a few people that might be for you out there. I think I had this idea that once I lost weight, it would be so easy to date and be in relationships. And that's just not the case. It's not the truth. It's basically, it gave me more options. I've realized though too that I can be pickier. I'm taking care of my body and my health and myself more, and so I'm looking for that in somebody. So that rules out some people that aren't maybe taking care of their health. I'm not like looking for a guy who is a gym rat, has to be working out all the time, but I do want somebody that's fit and healthy and does take care of their body and does eat right for the most part, because that's my lifestyle for the most part. It rules out some people, and people that I would have dated a while ago, because I wasn't working out, I wasn't into taking care of my health and my body as much. This whole weight loss thing has opened more options for me. It doesn't make it any easier necessarily, it just gives you more choices. I was naive in the fact that I thought that a relationship would be, you know, that much more likely. If anything, it might be harder because of my discernment and being a little bit pickier. And also, you know, I have kids and I want to do right by them, and I want to pick somebody that's a great role model for my kids. So hopefully this video hasn't bored you to death. I love you guys. I'm so thankful that you've been here and sat with me, especially if you made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to make videos that you want to see, so if there's something that you have questions about or are looking for my experience on, I am pretty much an open book. I can be private about some things, but ask me. You'll probably get an answer, because if I feel like it's going to help you, I'll answer it. Have a great day, and I will see you soon.